can my social media impact my divorce? You betcha. Basically, in every way you can possibly imagine, your social media can impact your divorce. Think about it. What you're doing is putting out there all over God's green internet every thought you think. Like, people don't do this as much anymore, but remember at first everybody was always posting all their food, like what food you ate, what you're up to, if you're at the lake, your new special someone in your life, your kids, like literally everything. And if you, like, on the one hand, you can think, well, I don't post anything that's that big of a deal. But think it through. You may be posting things and not even totally realizing it. Like, let's say you told the X Factor in a message, you can't have the kids this weekend because you're going to a work thing. But then that weekend you're posting yourself in videos out on the lake. Like, you can create evidence that can undermine your credibility in your case. It can bring into question your judgment. Like, are you posting a bunch of pictures of yourself partying? Do you have, like, I don't know, like drug kind of pictures? Do they feel seedy? Do they feel weird? Like, do you have mean posts talking about the parents of your children? Like, hello, that would be really dumb to post like, oh, my ex. But people do this, y'all know that. They will post all kind of stuff out there on the internet. And here's the thing, you've attached it with your name in a picture, made it public. Like, believe me, one of your former common friends is screenshotting that stuff and sending it to your ex. So even if you think you've blocked them, their grandma, their cousin, their best friend down the street, their neighbor, their coworker, somebody is still getting them that information. So, like, you can't think that you can post it and it's never going to be because, like, you blocked the person. That's not going to work. So you need to think about everything that you put on your social media, pictures, stories, posts, Snapchat, whatever it is, as if it was front and center on a big old screen in the middle of the courthouse for the judge, the jury, the lawyers, the spouse, experts, psychologists to see. Because that's exactly what could happen. Now, not every little thing you say is going to be material or like super important in your case, but it might be. And I would suggest you may not fully appreciate the significance or the gravity of what you're saying whenever you're posting it. So, like, I think a good rule of thumb for using social media in the middle of your divorce is, like, if you wouldn't want to read it on the front page of the newspaper, don't post it, because you're kind of posting it on the front page of the newspaper when you put it on the internet. And I'd be willing to bet most of y'all do not have your settings locked down very good. All right, so probably everybody can see it. Even if you think you have, because you read like your grandma's post that says, here's all, you know, those things they post like, do this, or Mark Zuckerberg is gonna, like, you know, eat out your brains like an alien or whatever. So even if you've done all of those instructions, you probably still don't have it right. Okay, so just don't rely on that. Don't trust that. You just don't, like, just wait a minute. Your divorce is going to take you, you know, somewhere between 61 days and a couple of years, depending on the deal. I suggest you just hold off on your, like, social media impulse during that time period. And I guess as I'm saying that, I'm thinking to myself, and then kind of beyond, because, like, once the divorce is done, it's not like you're done with your X Factor for the rest of your life, right? Like, especially if you got little kids, let's say they're 2 and 3 years old. I hate to tell you, but you got 15 more years or better of worrying about the way what you post can and could or would or will be used against you if you were ever going back to court. So, like, it's not fun. It feels a little bit like you're in a fishbowl and, like, I should be able to post and do whatever I want, and it's a free country, and, like, I get that. I personally revolt when someone tries to censor what I say in my speech. Like, I understand, believe me. And you just gotta be smart about it. You've gotta think through the way that this could impact your kids, your money, your business, and embarrass you. So just be careful. If you're thinking about getting divorced, what you may want to do with your social media is look backwards. And is there any stuff, like, that you're not super proud of that you may want to hide from your timeline? Or, I mean, look, you can't destroy evidence. So, like, don't hear me as saying you're destroying evidence. But, like, as a general rule, if you're not in the middle of a court case, you don't have a duty to keep all of your stuff that you've ever posted on your Instagram, okay? So you may consider cleaning things up a little bit versus once your divorce case starts, let me say that, once your divorce case is filed and it starts, you cannot go just deleting stuff because then you can have a finding against you called spoliation of evidence. Spoliation. Yeah, it's like, once I read that word, I don't say it that much out loud. It's like, if you delete something off of your Facebook and then later it's found out and proven that you deleted it, you can have a negative inference taken against you for that post in trial. Like, basically, you don't want that to happen. It's against the law to delete stuff after the fact because you're destroying evidence. So don't delete stuff after the fact. If you haven't yet filed and you're just, wanting to clean up your act, that's probably a really good idea. And once you're in this world, the divorce and custody world, if there's contentiousness, if there's fussing between y'all, you're probably gonna have to adopt a pretty squeaky clean social media presence if you don't want that to come back on you with the kids. And like, part of it is for your own peace of mind. You don't want to be worried that that video, that clip or whatever that you posted that time is going to somehow come up and mess with your life. Like, just so that you can sleep at night, you're going to need to be squeaky clean and not add one more thing to your plate to worry about or for your lawyer to review. Because that's the other thing. Your lawyer's going to need to be made aware of what all of you put all over the internet. This goes for any kind of case, but particularly in a family law case. Like, your lawyer's going to have to review so they can be prepared of what may come up in a hearing. Because what you don't want to have happen is some wild thing you posted, some rant about your ex, or just like people who are getting divorced in general, or like ex-wives in general, when everybody knows you're talking about your ex-wife. Like, you do not want that to be surprised on you or your lawyer at a hearing, like that whole thing that you said, and you're all kind of like, blah, 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 like, what are we going to do now? So make sure you disclose that to your lawyer. Try to keep it squeaky clean. Try to clean it up in advance if you haven't yet filed your case. And in general, just keep in mind that it's basically like you've put it on the front page of the newspaper. And one thing a really wise divorce lawyer in San Antonio said to a class I was at St. Mary's when I was still in school was like, I want you to envision everything you say in the middle of a divorce case, like whether it's verbally, you write it, you text it, you do it, as if it's on the Jumbotron at the Spurs game or here in Austin at the Austin FC game. Like, you need to think about it because it could be like that in your case. And look, you don't want to live always on edge, always super stressed out, always worried that everything you say or do is going to be under a microscope, except it kind of might be, at least when it's in the thick of it. And like, there are other strategies you can employ over the long term. So like, if you're post-divorce and you're in the long-term custody long haul, right? Like, where this is not gonna ever truly settle down and custody drama is your way of life, there's some more advanced strategies you can use, but this will work for you if you're a noob.